So what did you see, hear, and experience in Goa? How was this the inspiration for you to start making music?
All right. So I happened to go to Goa very randomly. You know, it was like I was traveling in India, and then I was thinking, I heard of this place called Goa on the west side of west coast of India. It's the party place. I like parties, but it's not what I'm looking for when I go traveling around. I'm looking for more the cultural thing and the traditional thing, and not the party and the, you know. But still, when I went to Goa, I felt something that I don't know. The music touched me. This Psytrance, this psychedelic trance touched me, and I was a bit confused. I was like, "What? I really like this music." I wanted to know more about it, and I wanted to know how it's made, and I wanted to. I had been traveling for 4 years, and at the end of these 4 years, I got back to my country, started to study again, and at the same time, I started to make music, you know. I wanted to know how you make that psytrance. Yeah, basically, this is how it's all started, and I always loved all type of music. My big inspiration is like jazz music, metal music, old school rap music from the East Coast, like Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, NWA, all this stuff. And it's very far from trance music. But trance music just, I don't know. It just, I fell in love with it, pretty much. This is something like this, you know? And then that's it, you know, when you start getting into it, you start making it, and then you... At first I was by myself, none of my friends were making it. None of my friends really liked it, actually. And most of my friends didn't like electronic music at all. So it was hard. I was all on my own, making it by myself, watching some tutorials on the internet sometime, but it was, yeah, the first 3 years were kind of tough.
Cheers, yeah, cheers.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was kind of difficult. I was based in Toulouse, in south of France, my city. Yeah, man, it's so hard at the beginning. Like, just the most basic thing, it takes you like ages to achieve, you know? It's like, but I guess the hard way is always good. You always get somewhere, you know? The easy way, there's no such a thing as an easy way, you know? Like, to get to what you want in life, there's no such a thing as an easy way. Slowly, I started to meet more people. In my circle, more people coming from that type of music started to, you know, get together, organize parties. Then we created an association in Toulouse called Chronozone Record, which is an association to organize psytrance parties, promote psytrance music in our region, local thing, you know, because I really care about the local aspect, you know, like promoting locally before, you know, promoting internationally. Like slowly, you know, days after days, weeks after weeks, like it started to all come together. My music production started to, you know, bloom. And then also, since I was promoting parties, promoting artists on the other side, it also gave me a connection to, you know, to play at different gigs and, yeah, improve my music, get some good feedbacks from great artists, and go forwards all the time. Never stop moving forwards, you know. So I started to make psytrance music 7 years ago now. It's not such a long time. Some artists have started like 15 years ago and stuff like this. It's not such a long time. I don't think it's a matter of how long you've been in the field, you know? It's more how much passion you put into it. I think it's more like this. I've seen people in the field for 20 years doing it part-time, you know? It's not fully passionate, and it's okay. There's no someone bad, someone wrong, or someone good, someone... It's just a matter of making choice in life and a matter of priority, and I decided to devote 110% of my time to this, and yeah, and 200% of my energy in this. And this is, yeah, I'm not saying I'm a successful person or anything. I'm just saying this is the way I feel it. This is the way I want to go, and this is the way I know where I'm going, and this is all what matters. I think the travel is more important than the destination. Yeah, the journey is more important. The quality of the journey is more important than the destination, because once you reach the destination, or you have to build in your head another destination, you know, to do something different, or to just take it even to a higher level or something. But I enjoy the journey a lot.
So for most artists, originality is first preceded by a phase of learning and of often emulating or copying other artists. What was this like for you? And how would you describe your own development as an artist and the transition towards your own voice or your own sound?
When I was a beginner, obviously I had like reference artists. You know, like I would mention some of them, like Electric Universe, Tristan, obviously, Dixter from Nana Records. You know, all these really cool and good Psytrance artists who have been in the field for 20 years. And obviously you listen to their music and you try to understand how they made that sound and how they do their kick and bass and stuff like this. But this has a limit. I think once you understand the structure and everything, then you have to stop listening to this. I mean, you can listen to this, to their music. You can listen to it like up to a certain point. But if you listen too much, you get too much influenced. And then it's not your own music that you create. It's something that you recreate from something which was already made in the past, which makes no sense. That you don't have to make something which was already made in the past. You need to really bring something new to the scene. So I did listen, and I do sometimes these days, mainly to listen to the mix, how, not the structure of the track, but the mix, how it's made, and I would say like Sacred Technology, they make really good, you know, mix and really good masterings and stuff like this. And I do listen to it because it evolves over time, and when you think the mix is great, you listen 2 years later and the guy has gotten to a higher level. It's like mixes are getting really good these days, and the masterings are the same. It's really, really good. So I do listen to this, but I try to limit the amount of time I spend on listening to other artists. And also, like, I don't only listen, I started to stop listening to Psytrance. I listened to, like, I got back to the jazz music, I got back to, I would say even bossa nova and stuff, like Brazilian stuff, which has nothing to do with electronic music. Got back listening to techno also, like, which is more electronic, but listening to drum and bass. Lately, I've been putting some, maybe, you know, like neuro bass and drum and bass into my music, adding some techno elements, trying to do something a little bit, you know, not just Psytrance, because I think Psytrance has been exploited, and I think we need to go a little bit higher and, you know, explore different horizons. I think to keep the vibe, you know. Some part of the scene of the Psytrance has gone a little bit quiet, like I would say progressive trance has gone into, it was blooming in 2014, 2015, and suddenly just progressive Psytrance is not happening anymore. Or maybe some progressive Psytrance is happening in commercial clubs and stuff like this, but we don't get to see this anymore at parties. Like in my country, we don't get to see progressive Psytrance anymore. We get to see full-on Psytrance. A lot of forest, a lot of dark side, a lot of, even high-tech is very fashionable these days.
What can you tell us about the French Psytrance scene, and what can you tell us about the city that you've decided to live in?
Okay, I come from a little countryside called Aveyron, and then I moved like 2 hours away. After my 4 years traveling, I moved 2 hours away south to Toulouse, which is like one of the biggest cities in the south of France, which has a very strong culture and which has like a very good scene, music scene, you know, like any type of music. I decided to move to Toulouse because this is where you can actually meet people who have the same interests with you, and this is where we created this, when and where we created the association called Chronozone Record. The scene in Toulouse has gotten weak over the last 2 years. Some association before us, before we create our own association, have gone bankrupt, or some of them have gone overseas. And I don't know, like the scene has, I wouldn't say died, but it's got to a point that it was really, really weak. It was like a party with 6 months. It's terrible for someone who likes, people want to go out on weekends to listen to Psytrance. A party every 6 months is impossible. So this is when we decided to create this association. But I'm thinking that it's gonna bloom again, and it's already blooming in Toulouse. In France, I would say the Psytrance scene is great. Just authorities are really, really tight and really harsh on organizers. And man, it's like, you need so much security for every event. It's hard. So many events get cancelled at like 24 hours before. It's hard, man. We fight to just promote the scene and organize as many parties as we can, promote artists and all this. But authorities are shutting down events a lot. I would say more than many countries, more than Spain, more than Portugal, more than Italy. So Paris is a very expensive city. Clubs are very small, I would say. You know, all the ancient cities, you know, in Europe is mainly small clubs in the center, right? Obviously. I played a couple of times in Paris. It was fun, like big squad, like 600 people in like a massive warehouse and stuff like this, or old train station, you know. And it was fun. It was fun. It's different. The crowd is different. It's more. It's underground. 100% sure it's underground. But the crowd is coming to party, even though they haven't heard of Psytrance. They know it's the place you can party hard, and I felt like this. But it was good. I had a good time. But it was a bit different. Whereas in Toulouse, in my city, people come to the Psytrance party. They know every artist. They know why they're here for. They know why they come, and it's a different vibe. Every cities are different. Like Bordeaux would be a little bit more posh city, so people would be a little bit more uptight at the party. Lyon is on the other side of France, which would be also people would go to the party with a suit. So it's okay, they have fun, right? But it's another a different vibe, you know. But it's good. It's good. Everywhere you go, everywhere you play, it's different vibe, different people, different crowd. As long as there's respect between people and as long as everyone, you know, is having fun, is perfect.
What were some of the main challenges and goals when you started out as a producer, and how have they changed over time?
Okay, when I started, the main challenge would have been to get into the scene. It's really hard to go from the point zero to the point that you are in the field with, you know, already like playing and already, you know, in touch with all the organizers and already, you know, in the circuit, you know, playing around. And so from that stage to that stage is really hard to get, I guess. That's the biggest challenge, especially in my case, since I didn't know any producers around me, anyone who liked Psytrance. That was really hard, you know, to make your way up and your way through, you know, towards this. That would have been a huge challenge. I wasn't even sure I was going to make it. You have to believe it 100% all the time, but when you go from zero, you don't know what to expect. You don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know how much effort it's going to, you know, how much it's going to take. Yeah, and my goal was to share my music with the world and express myself with sounds that I cannot sounds that I can express myself that I cannot express with my own words. That would be it, you know. Like music speaks for itself, and you don't have to use your words to express that idea. It would be impossible to write it, and it would be impossible to speak it. So that was my goal. Beyond everything, like some people, they start in the music field because they think it's cool and because it's possible to make money, and because you know, they want to show themselves on the stage or stuff like this. Everybody has a different goal. That was not my goal at all. I was not making a goal as I have to be a professional. I have to make that amount of money to survive every month from making my music. I haven't set in any of these rules from the first place. It just slowly getting there, I guess. I started to, you know, have a little salary out of my music, which is good because I don't have to do a side job, you know. I don't have to work as a. This is really good. I can spend just the whole week making my music and every weekend playing at gigs. I used to work in construction, and 25 hours per week working in construction gets you really tired, gets you lose your inspiration, I would say. Like you're so busy at work carrying stuff, you know, that you tend to forget about what music you really wanted to produce and what ideas you wanted to put down. So it's really good that I don't have to work anymore. Like it's been 6 months. I'm 100% devoted to the music.
So what is your advice to up-and-coming DJs and producers? What would you recommend they do and what they don't do? And
my advice would be that if you're not 200% passionate about what you do, don't get into it. Don't just, create a music project just because it's cool or just because it would be a waste of time. Just do it all the way or don't do it at all. Just choose either way. But if you're in for the money, definitely not Psytrance. Go for another type of music or different job maybe. If you're in for just the passion, focus on the passion. If you have a passion, you will reach whatever you want to reach. I think so. I haven't reached my final goal or something, but I think I have enough passion, and I can put enough passion into my work to reach what I really want to reach. And if you know inside yourself, and if you know it, then you can, start something, But from the first place, you have to really consider what you want to do in the long run and what's your motivation, basically.
So what is your end goal? What is your motivation? What are you working towards?
I guess my philosophy of life was that if you become a successful person, if you're 100% happy about what you do every single day, it doesn't matter how much you make on your bank account and stuff. You're just successful if you just smile every morning when you get up, When you know why you want to just get to work and everything, this is a successful person. And for me, sometimes I go to bed, it's midnight, and I'm thinking, I have all these ideas in my head, I want to put them down, I want to write them. And I can't wait for the morning, to come, and then I get up and I just start making all that music. And this is unbelievable. I mean, it feels amazing, all the people who do the job, the dream job, the stuff they always wanted to do, and they have this passion, and they get up in the morning with a smile and the happiness and motivation. This is perfect. And I guess I kind of reached my goal, one of my goals, by actually doing exactly what I always wanted to do in my life, do something which motivates me every single day. And I always want to reach when I produce one track, I'm thinking it's good, but it's only 99% good. And you always have this 1% that you want to reach. And this keeps me on going. I'm never 100% satisfied. This is good. I think the day that I will always be satisfied 100%, then it gets boring. Then you don't feel like outdoing yourself. This is my goal. There's no such a thing as a goal. There's no a stage that I really want to reach. It's just being happy every single day by doing what I do. This is basically my goal. And the journey is more important than the destination, as we said before. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the differences you've noticed about the Psytrance scenes in different countries?
I've been traveling to a few countries. I love the scene in Portugal. The people in Portugal they party really hard. And they never stop, man. I was doing the closing of a festival in Portugal Sunday night, and then on Monday everybody goes to work. And no, they wouldn't. After a set of 2 hours, when I stopped the music, they were shouting, and then the sound engineer came and unplugged the mixer, and everyone was like, it's like a crime. And yeah. I love the scene in Portugal, and it's such a small country for a small population, but they party as much as the French, which are 6 times as much. I went to Japan not so long, 3 or 4 months ago, and I loved the scene in Japan. Japanese are amazing people. You can't compare the Japanese with the rest of the world. It's just there's something there which is indescribable. There's so much respect. There's so much passion and so much. They're so neat. They organize parties so well. Everything is so organized. Decoration is every single detail is beautiful. They put candles. They put painting in the small corners. Put small stones to make a path. And it's whoa. In Japan it was amazing. I went to Korea right after Japan. Korea is different scene. I would say a little bit younger scene. People have a little bit less experience, but very interesting to play there. Very interesting to share my music with them, and lots of things to learn from them also, of course. Seen the scene in South Africa only from yesterday, and here is also different. People party hard, of course. Yeah, all the scenes are different. I really like my French scene because the French people, they really just like me. They like partying all the time and they never stop, you know. I wouldn't say I have a favorite crowd according to the population. I wouldn't say that. They're all different. Thanks to the creators of Culture for inviting me for this interview. It was very interesting to share my ideas and very interesting questions, which actually makes me think stuff I didn't think of. And yeah, it's feeling really great to be here in South Africa. Beautiful scenery here. Yeah, great time in South Africa so far, and looking forward to have fun. Thanks a lot for everything.